She stood there, bathed in the warm glow of their admiration. The lights were bright, almost blinding, but she didn't mind. This was her moment, the culmination of years of hard work and sacrifice. 1,000 faces, 1,000 smiles, all pointed directly at her. Each one seemed to radiate approval, a silent nod of acceptance that she had longed for. This is it, she thought. This is what it means to be happy. The joy she felt was overwhelming, a tidal wave of emotion that swept her off her feet. The applause washed over her, a symphony of validation. Each clap was a note in a melody that sang of her worth, her success. This was her dream, her masterpiece, a life sculpted to elicit their approval. She had worked tirelessly, molding herself into the person they wanted her to be. Years later, the applause faded. The once vibrant theater now stood empty, a hollow shell of its former glory. The faces in the crowd, once clear, blurred into an anonymous mass. The individuality that once shone brightly had dimmed, leaving only shadows. Their smiles, once warm, now felt cold, judgmental. The approval she had once basked in had turned into a harsh spotlight of scrutiny. They were still there, their presence looming, but the warmth of their gaze had become a burden. The weight of their expectations pressed down on her, suffocating. She was trapped, living in the gilded cage she had built with her own need for their affirmation. The bars were invisible, but they were there, confining her every move. We crave approval like oxygen, desperate for the intoxicating high of acceptance. It's a drug, a powerful force that drives us to seek validation from others. We contort ourselves, twisting into shapes that please, that comfort, that reassure everyone but ourselves. We lose pieces of who we are in the process, fragments of our true selves scattered in the pursuit of acceptance. But there's a dark truth lurking beneath this endless pursuit. The need to please is a bottomless pit, and we are all too eager to hurl ourselves into its depths. The more we seek approval, the more elusive it becomes, leaving us in a perpetual state of longing. The path to true happiness lies not in the approval of others, but in the acceptance of ourselves. It's a journey, a difficult one, but it's the only way to break free from the approval trap. Embrace who you are with all your flaws and imperfections. Only then can you find the true joy that comes from within, a joy that no amount of external validation can ever replace. Remember that friend who constantly seeks validation, the one who seems to live for the approval of others, the one who posts carefully curated glimpses into their seemingly perfect life, every photo, every status update, meticulously crafted to project an image of flawlessness. They're not happy, they're terrified. Terrified of the judgment that might come if the facade were to crack. Terrified of what might happen if someone were to peek behind the curtain and discover the messy, complicated truth. The truth that they are just as flawed and human as the rest of us. They are a prisoner in their own gilded cage, their every move dictated by the fear of judgment, the fear of not measuring up to the impossible standards they've set for themselves. They're addicted to the fleeting high of likes and comments, their self-worth measured in the shallow currency of online affirmation. Each notification a temporary balm for their insecurities. They are quite simply miserable, trapped in a cycle of seeking approval and feeling empty when it inevitably fades. We laugh, we judge, but aren't we all guilty of the same crime? Haven't we all at some point sought validation from others to feel worthy? Haven't we all sacrificed a piece of ourselves at the altar of someone else's expectations? Compromised our true selves to fit into a mold that was never meant for us? We chase promotions we don't want, driven by the need to prove our worth in a world that equates success with status. We maintain relationships that drain us, afraid to let go because of the fear of being alone or judged. And we silence our own voices for fear of disrupting the fragile ecosystem of approval we've so carefully cultivated. We become actors in our own lives, playing roles that were never meant for us, all in the name of acceptance. The irony is, the more we seek validation from others, the less we feel worthy of it. It's a vicious cycle, fueled by insecurity and self-doubt. We become approval-seeking missiles, desperately searching for a target to validate our existence. But the truth is, no amount of external validation can fill the void within. True happiness, the kind that seeps into your bones and sets your soul on fire, can only come from within. It's about defining your own worth, on your own terms, without seeking permission or approval. It's about embracing the glorious, messy, complicated truth of who you are, flaws and all. It's about recognizing that the opinions of others, while perhaps interesting or entertaining, hold no real power over your life unless you give it to them. Section 4. Defining your own worth. Imagine a world where you woke up each morning and didn't immediately reach for your phone to check your notifications. Instead, you took a moment to breathe, to feel the warmth of the morning sun on your face, and to appreciate the start of a new day, a day that is entirely yours to shape and define. Imagine a world where you pursued your passions, not because you thought they would impress others, but because they set your soul on fire. Picture yourself lost in the strokes of a paintbrush or the melodies of a musical instrument, completely absorbed in the joy of creation. This is a world where your passions are a reflection of your innermost desires, not a performance for the approval of others. Imagine a world where you were free to be your most authentic self without apology or explanation. A world where you could dance like no one is watching, laugh without restraint, and express yourself in ways that feel true to who you are. This is the essence of living authentically, embracing your unique identity with confidence and joy. This is the power of living for yourself. It's about finding peace in solitude, contentment in your own company, and strength in your individuality. It's about meditating in nature, feeling connected to the world around you, and understanding that your worth is inherent, not dependent on external validation. It's about shedding the weight of other people's expectations and embracing the liberating truth that your worth is not contingent upon their approval. Imagine the relief of letting go of those heavy burdens, standing tall with determination and walking a path that is uniquely yours. This is the journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your own story, and you have the power to write whatever ending you damn well please. Each day is a blank page, and you hold the pen. You can craft a narrative that reflects your dreams, your values, and your aspirations. This is your story, and you have the power to shape it as you see fit. It's about understanding that the only validation that truly matters is the validation you give yourself. When you look in the mirror, see the person who has overcome challenges, who has grown, and who is worthy of love and respect. Embrace yourself with a serene smile, knowing that your worth is defined by you and you alone. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to be unapologetically you. Section 5. The courage to disappoint. Living for yourself requires courage. It requires you to be comfortable with the possibility of disappointing people. It requires you to be okay with not being liked by everyone, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's liberating. Because when you stop living your life for the approval of others, you free yourself to pursue what truly matters to you. You give yourself permission to fail, to learn, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. You start living a life that is authentically yours, not a pale imitation of what you think others want to see. You become the master of your own destiny, the captain of your own ship. And that is a power that no one can ever take away from you.